Hi, I'm Camilla.
And I'm Kane, and we are the
FI
FI Resellers.
And we had a great week last week. We are part-time resellers, meaning that we buy items from the thrift store for cheap and we sell it for a profit online on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Facebook Marketplace. So we're going to share some of our best sales from the past week, then share with you how much we made this week. So definitely you'll want to stay tuned because we're going to share some things that you might find at the thrift store and could make some money on. Okay, so we're going to start off with an amazing sale, and this Trina Turk coat sold for $140 on Poshmark. I was so excited when I picked it up at the bins. I could feel as soon as I touched it that it was really nice. It just felt so soft and luxurious and just, fabulous. So the fabric content on this coat is really nice. It's wool and cashmere and 20% nylon. But the wool and the cashmere make it super duper soft, and I was able to find, the exact coat that this is, and so I listed it pretty high. We have had it for a while, but it is just starting to get cold places, so it makes sense that it's sold now. And I'm happy to hold on to things for a while if it's gonna make me, over $100. So that's awesome. Most Trina Turk pieces don't go for as much as this coat did. Obviously, coats are a much more substantial piece than, say a blouse or something like that. And you definitely wanna be on the lookout for good fabric content, because in a good brand, good fabric content can really elevate the price of resale on something. And we'll pop up a picture of what this coat looks like in kind of full length. We can't really show it here, we don't have enough space, but just so you can see kind of what it looks like. Okay, so we sold this bundle on Poshmark, and it's a 4-piece bundle, and it was this Trina Turk dress, which sold, the bundle in total sold for $60. So you can kind of divide that evenly across all 4 items. And Trina Turk is a really nice brand originally, but it doesn't have a great sell-through. It's just pretty saturated online, so I usually price mine pretty low and try to get it moving, and that's what happened with this dress. It's just a jersey knit red dress, but the Trina Turk logo is pretty easy to find. But if you're picking it up at the bins, that's probably okay, but I wouldn't necessarily pay up for it at a thrift store. The nice thing about Trina Turk is that it has a style number. I love when brands have that, because then you can just Google that and be able to put it into your listing. Okay, next is this pair of espadrilles by Coconuts by Matisse, which I would not recommend picking this brand up. I've had these for so long, and they have gotten very little interest. I think I even put them for a 99-cent auction on eBay, and no one bid, so I wouldn't pick up this brand, but really happy to see them gone. Okay, next we have this pair of Danskos, and they are the Dansko Frida style, and I often pick up Danskos. I love selling them. They usually sell pretty well for me. These ones I think took a lot longer to sell than usual because they aren't in perfect shape and they're a pretty small size. So because of that, I think that's why it took longer for them to sell. Then if these were even just one size bigger, I think they would have sold a lot faster. So definitely look out for Dansko, but the Dansko in bigger sizes sells better than the Dansko in smaller sizes. And lastly is this dress by James Purse, and I'm not sure about this brand. I looked it up when I picked it up, and I have one other piece by this brand, but the other one hasn't sold, and this took a while to sell. It was pretty difficult to photograph because it is just like a plain black dress, but I'm not sure that people are really buying this brand online. It seems to move pretty slowly, so I would definitely recommend looking up comps if you see this brand, and being kind of picky with it, because I'm not sure that it was really worth picking up.
Okay, so we were kidding about showing you some clips because we, it's not like we want to forget and, go back to this other type of showing. In fact, I prefer the other one because it's a lot less editing, but sometimes we forget, and sometimes after the fact, we do want to talk about some of the things that maybe at the time didn't seem significant, but once we look at the numbers, then it is somewhat significant for us to actually talk about, and maybe it'll help you in your business. Okay, so the first sale we wanted to talk about was this tuxedo, and it was by the brand Jones New York, and it sold for $52.45 on eBay. So that included the shipping, and this was a really nice tuxedo that was in our death pile for a really long time. Yeah. Actually, I think we got it from friends of ours before we even got married, so
That's pretty bad. But it sold really quickly after we listed it, and definitely you should consider looking at tuxedos and picking them up if they are cheap enough, because this one is from, Jones, New York is an okay brand. We don't often pick it up to resell, almost never. But because it's a tuxedo, it was in, a pretty normal size, a pretty good size. And people will buy tuxedos off of eBay and then, tailor them to fit. So definitely that's something to look at, because people are looking for them. And if you can sell it to someone on eBay for basically cheaper than what they could rent it for, that's a pretty good deal for them.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing we've learned about tuxedos is that they're sometimes difficult to find kind of like in stores for you to buy, like at a reasonable price anyway. They're often very expensive, and then you have to get them tailored, because when you're going to a black tie event, you want to look really sharp. So tuxedos are really meant for those times where it's just like a really special event. So people are willing to pay up, obviously, but if they can save some money, they're going to go online and buy it. So it makes sense for us to try to look at tuxedos more, because they're obviously more rare than just suits. It's not often that people need them, but when they need it, they need it. And so that's when you come in and you're offering something that they can hopefully buy for a lot cheaper. For this, we got kind of lucky and we sold it pretty quickly. So it's just a give and take, I suppose.
So the next sale we wanted to share was this Christmas pyramid, and it sold for $47.05 on eBay. And this was kind of a smaller one. So these are traditional in Germany, and often people will like go to the Christmas market in Germany and buy these, like if they're visiting. They are often very intricately done, and the way it works is you put like little candles at the bottom, and then the heat rises and it causes like the windmill to spin. It kind of spins, and it's a nice little Christmas decoration. And so this one was pretty small. Sometimes they are like, 3-tiered or 5-tiered, and my family had one growing up. And so I think that they're really special, and this caught my eye in the bins. I knew exactly what it was. It wasn't in the best shape. It had, a few broken pieces here and there, and it was much smaller than, some of the bigger ones that you can get. But even still, with all of that, it was still worth some money. But we didn't end up doing a clip of it because it was in the box, and we didn't want to take it out of the box to put it together to like do the clip and everything.
Basically,
but you can see our pictures here of what it looks like. If you see these out, they are definitely worth money. If you feel confident enough shipping it, these are very, very fragile. So it's, really thin. Often it's really thin kind of wood pieces that are carved, and, they have tiny little things on each of the figurines. So it's very kind of dangerous to ship, but if you are kind of willing to take that risk, there can be some big money in that.
So we sold this lot of 2 Christmas ornaments, vintage, made by Krebs. We sold them for $34.75, and this isn't really significant, but we had sold 2 others for about the same amount. Each set was only 50 cents, and so for the 2 sets it's just $1. So 3 into about $60 is kind of what we were looking at. That's pretty good. When I was looking at the comps, I could tell that they were sought after. The sell-through rate was great. And for the buy costs and, the buyer paying shipping, we just knew that we were going to make about $20 profit, and to us that was good enough. And so if you come across vintage Christmas things, that's often something to look at for sure. Look at the sell-through rate. I think we have 2 more sets, so we're hoping to make another $40, but these weren't even in great condition. So that's just something that we know as a category to look at, to really look at the comps.
If you are at a garage sale or an estate sale, that is a great place to look for these types of Christmas things, especially ornaments, because you can, like us, pick up a bunch of them all at once and be able to list them really quickly, because people often have, multiples of, a certain kind of thing. Like they have enough basically to fill their whole tree. And so sometimes if they're getting rid of all of their ornaments or even just a big piece of them, often people have like just too many of them. And if you can take them off their hands, that makes it really easy for you to list. And that was another reason we decided to pick these up, is that even though it's only $20 profit per piece, it was really easy to be able to list. You just, we just had to research it the one time, and then we could kind of basically copy and paste the listing, just changing the details here and there. but it makes it super simple. Okay, so the last sale we wanted to share was not a very good one.
Yeah, a dud for sure.
And the reason we wanted to share this was it was an Eddie Bauer Christmas sweater. It sold for just $14 on Poshmark. And this was not a great sale, mostly because we paid $7.08 for this. I think around the time of, when was it? Was it last Christmas?
It was last Christmas.
Yeah, around the time of last Christmas when we were in Cincinnati. It took a long time to sell.
And it didn't sell for much.
And because we spent so much on it, we only profited $2.25.
And the discounted shipping. And so that really hurt a lot. So it's just all these small things add up. And so that's partially why we focus so much on low cost of goods. It really does lower the risk for our business. And this isn't the first time that something like this has happened, but it often happens when we have an above average cost of good. And it just doesn't fit with our business model very well, because we think, oh yeah, we can take an offer on it, and then we forget that we've spent so much on it, and so the margins are really small for something like this. And it was a really nice sweater.
Definitely, that's something to keep in mind, that that cost of goods, it can add up, and keeping that really low really helps your profit margins, so that you can take those lower offers, especially on weeks where things are slow and you want to speed things up. That enables you the flexibility to be able to do that. And so that's what we value in our business, is having the flexibility to, take some lower offers, especially in a time like right now where people don't have a ton of disposable income to be spending on, used clothes online.
Right.
That enables us to, continue to have sales right now and hopefully into the future. Okay, so here are total numbers from the past week. We sold 40 items for a gross revenue of $1,008.95. We had a cost of goods of $89.03. And on Poshmark, we sold 21 items for $281.37. On eBay, we sold 15 items for $239.55.
What?
And on Facebook Marketplace, we sold 4 items for $89.85. So in total, net profit, we made $610.77 this week.
This is like the first time in such a long time that Poshmark did better than eBay. So very interesting.
Yeah, so obviously it came mostly from that coat that we sold on Poshmark. Otherwise it would have been way lower. It just goes to show you that cross-listing does really help. We have been consistently listing on eBay and Poshmark for a couple of years now. And most of the time eBay makes us, more profit each week. Poshmark does make up for a good amount of that difference. And it is a vital part of our business. And so we would never want to, lose that.
Another interesting thing is that if we didn't sell that coat, we would have been short by like less than $1. So that was just kind of funny. I looked at that earlier, and we got really close to not making our goal of $500.
Yeah, but it does go to show you, like we said last week, the difference that one really good sale makes. We had, most of our sales are, about $20. We make about $15 in profit. And just that one sale of, $140 really, bumps us up into, the next level of our business. That's just something to keep in mind. And that's something that we try to keep in mind as we are, going through our business, trying to encourage ourselves, is like, it just takes one really good sale to turn a week around.
All right, now it's time for a segment on building wealth. And like last week, we've only got an update for you on the total stock market index experiment. We're not really going to talk about building wealth, but here's the update. Still not great, about $1,500 in the hole. Not great. So we're going to continue to invest. As always, we put a little bit from our profits into the total stock market index, and we're going to give you the progress report pretty much each week. And we try to encourage you that this is a long-term game. We've been doing it for a little over a year, blah, blah, blah. It's just all the same. But this week, we kind of want to throw out the idea that we want to crowdsource questions from you and just ask us what we think we would do in any particular situation, or ask us about our past, what we've done in any situation, or what our experiences are, or want to do, or all of that. We would love to know what's on your mind so that we can maybe be more interesting about the topics that we choose. And I think it would be really fun to answer some of your questions as things come up. We have so many thoughts, but we're not exactly sure what you want to hear. So we'd love to hear from you and just make this a little more fun, a little more interactive, and just crowdsource some of these questions, some of these answers that we can give you and our experiences, or our successes, or avoid some of our failures in the past too. So that would be good too.
So leave a comment down below with what your questions are, and we'll get to them in a future video. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps YouTube show this video to more people, and we just love that. And if you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing. We would love to have you as part of our YouTube community.
Yeah, keep that passion burning, y'all. We hope that your November has started off well. Hopefully you had a great Halloween and all of that. And we just hope that these next 2 months, for the last few weeks of the year, that they're going so well, that your Q4 is just going to be the best ever. And all the things that are going on, we just hope that you keep a positive attitude, because we're always rooting for you. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Have I been recording this whole time? Yeah.
Okay, good.